Hello. In this video, we are going to discuss a good set based on games in tournament. Here's a question. In a badminton tournament, 4 players A, B, C and D played with each other exactly once. The player who reached the score of 15 was declared as the winner of the game. Each game had a single winner. The table below gives some data of 6 games played between these players. For example, in the game between A and B, A got 15 points, while the data about point earned by B is unknown. So see, here is the score of A and B. यहाँ पे ये जो particular value है, this is representing the score of match between A and B. So A has scored 15 and B का score is not known to us. Now, for example, this value represents that in the match of B against C, B scored 15 and C scored 10, like this. Fine. So in the column of total, the first number is the number of points earned by the player, while the second number is the number of points scored against the player. So in this particular column, they are talking about this column. So we can say that A in total has scored 40 points, while the number of points scored against A is not known to us. From this particular value 40 and 41, we can say that D in his matches against A, B and C has scored a total of 40 points, whereas A, B and C has scored a total of 41 against D. And this difference indicates this only. This difference is basically the score by you minus score against you. So basically D has scored 40, the score against him is 41. So the difference is 40 minus 41, that is minus 1, and so on. Fine. In the win-loss column, the first number indicates the number of wins, whereas the second one indicates the number of losses. This is very clear. Now the question based on this information are, so the first question is, how many points did A score in match lost by him? What are the total points scored by A, C and D against B? Total wins of A and D taken together, and the number of points scored by C in a match against D. So basically, in case you are able to complete this table, तो ये सारे question के answer easily आ जाएंगे. Now let us try to complete this table. First of all, I would like to request you to pause the video over here. एक बार आप खुद try करिए, तब ज़्यादा अच्छे से set समझ आएगा. Fine. So let's move to the solution part. Okay. So first of all, before doing this set, we need to understand certain things. Suppose in a match of A against B, the score was 15-10. So from here we can say that in a match of B against A, the score was 10-15. Match तो एक ही हो रहा है. In case A का score A 15-10 से जीते हैं, तो हम ऐसा भी कह सकते हैं कि B 10-15 से हारे हैं. So like this, here we have in match of B against C, the score was 15-10. So we can fill this column. Match of C against B, it must be 10-15, like this. Fine. So first thing. Second thing, A का match A से नहीं हो सकता है. So let me cancel this out. B का मैच B से नहीं हो सकता है, C का मैच C से नहीं, and D का मैच D से नहीं. तो ये कोई मैचेस नहीं है. Third thing, the total difference must be 0. Why 0? Because suppose आपने जितना पॉजिटिव स्कोर किया है उतना ही नेगेटिव दूसरे प्लेयर ने स्कोर किया है. तो जब हम इन्हें ऐड करेंगे तो नेट डिफरेंस मस्ट बी इक्वल टू 0. फाइन. तो सपोज इन अ मैच यहाँ पर A ने +5 किया है तो B का -5 स्कोर काउंट किया जाएगा. तो ओवरऑल जो डिफरेंस आएगा वो कितना आएगा? 0. फाइन. सो इफ टोटल डिफरेंस मस्ट बी इक्वल टू 0 और यहाँ पर क्या क्या वैल्यूज है? 5 -3 -1, तो टोटल अभी 1 हो रहा है. तो इन दिस पर्टिकुलर कॉलम इट मस्ट बी -1. दैट विल मेक द टोटल टू बी 0. फाइन. नाउ लेट अस ट्राई टू फिल दिस टेबल. कैसे हम फिल कर सकते हैं? नाउ सपोज हियर द स्कोर by A in his match against B is 15, something. So here it must be something, 15. ठीक है, ये हम फिल कर सकते हैं. B का स्कोर C से 10-15 था, तो C का B से 15-10 था, तो यहाँ पे 10-15 होगा. That I have already filled. D in his match against B scored 15, so here it must be like this. Now see, we know the total score against B is 15 plus 10 plus 15, that is 40. And the difference is -1. So the total number of points scored by B must be 39. तभी ये -1 होगा. Fine. यहाँ पर +5 है. So from here we can say that the total number of points scored against A is 35 only. So that is why 40 minus 35 will be +5. We cannot comment anything about this. कि यहाँ पर क्या स्कोर आएगा उस पर अभी कुछ कमेंट नहीं किया जा सकता है. Fine. Now see, यहाँ पर 15 and 15 B के अगेंस्ट जो मैचेस हैं उसमें केवल एक मैच में B ने 15 स्कोर किया है. दैट मींस B हैज वन ओनली वन ऑफ द मैचेस. and remaining 2 matches are won by A and D respectively. So it must be 1-2. Now total number of wins जितने होते हैं उतने ही total number of losses भी होते हैं. So total number of wins from here we can calculate is 4, whereas the number of losses is 5. Fine. So इस value को balance करने के लिए here it must be 2-1, so that the total number of wins will become 6 and total number of losses will also become 6. Fine. क्योंकि कोई भी player जीत रहा है तो correspondingly कोई दूसरा player हार रहा है. So the total number of wins always equals the total number of losses. Fine. Okay. So यहाँ तक हमने टेबल फिल कर ली है. Now further we don't have any option. अभी हम कुछ फिल और नहीं कर सकते हैं. Now let us try to check for the cases. Now A has won 2 of his matches and one of the match he has won was against B. That is for sure. है ना? Now जो दूसरा मैच A जीता है that can be A won against C or A won against D. So let us consider 2 cases. या तो A C से जीते होंगे या फिर A D से जीते होंगे. So before coming to these cases, let me fill this table also. एकदम same level पे ले आते हैं इस table को भी, so that it will be easier for us to solve. Fine. यहाँ पर it is 15, here it is 35, 39 minus 40 is -1 and 1, 2 and 2, 1. Now let us check for the first case only, where we are considering that A won against C. अब यदि A C से मैच जीते हैं तो A का स्कोर must be 15 and since the total number of points scored by A is 40, so इस मैच में against D he must have scored 10. So 15 plus 15 plus 10 will make it 40. और यहाँ पर D जीते होंगे, so it must be 15 over here and now we can fill this column as well. AD का पता है तो DA का भी 15 10 हो जाएगा. Now D has won 2 of the matches, so this match must be the one जो वो हारे होंगे C से. So from here we can fill that C का score 15 कम something रहा होगा. Fine. Now further we'll calculate the total points that D has scored is 40. So 15 plus 15, so here it must be 10. तभी D का 40 होगा total. Or if this is 15 10, so this must be 10 15. Now the total number of points scored against D is 41, out of which A has scored 10. C has scored how much? 15. So remaining 16 points must be then scored by B. Now this is not possible. The value of 16 over here we cannot place it. Why? Because first of all 15 पर तो मैच जीत जाते हैं तो 16 is not possible. Secondly ये मैच वैसे भी D को जीतना चाहिए था so that 2-1 का स्कोर हो पाता. So from here we can say that this assumption of us is wrong. A C से नहीं जीत सकते हैं. Now if in case A C से नहीं जीत सकते हैं so the only option that A has now is to win against D. So I am assuming कि A D से जीतते हैं और उनका स्कोर 15 something रहा होगा. So here we can fill that यहाँ पर something 15 रहेगा. Fine. और ये मैच A हारे हैं C से और यहाँ पर A का स्कोर 15 है, यहाँ भी 15 है, टोटल 30 और A का ओवरऑल स्कोर is 40. So here A must have scored 10. So 10 15 से ये हारे होंगे. So here it must be 15 10. Fine. Now we can check from here. We can check that. See 15 10 and 15 जो टोटल A ने स्कोर किया that must be 40 और 40 ही है टोटल स्कोर. Fine. तो इस तरह से चेक किया जा सकता है बिल्कुल. Now we need to fill the remaining values. अब remaining values fill करें तो कैसे fill की जा सकती है? C. Now here we have got the total score. यहाँ पर भी आ चुका है total. So अब हम देखेंगे यहाँ पर कि D कितने पॉइंट से हार सकते हैं. ठीक है, यहाँ पर 10 15 था. A के अगेंस्ट टोटल 35 पॉइंट स्कोर हुए. ठीक है, यहाँ पर C के अगेंस्ट कितने स्कोर हुए वो नहीं पता है हमें. ठीक है, और यहाँ पर हम कह सकते हैं कि जब C जीते हैं ये मैच, और इनफैक्ट D जीते हैं ये मैच क्योंकि D 2-1 से जीते हैं तो ये वाला और ये वाला D ने मैच जीता है तो 15 समथिंग से जीता होगा. राइट. तो फ्रॉम हियर वी कैन फिल दैट. यहाँ पर 15 आना चाहिए, समथिंग कॉमा 15. नाउ द टोटल पॉइंट स्कोर्ड बाय D इज 40. उसमें से 15 उन्होंने B के अगेंस्ट स्कोर किया है, 15 उन्होंने C के अगेंस्ट स्कोर किया है. सो हियर इट मस्ट बी 10 टू मेक द सम 40. और यहाँ पर 10 आता है तो हियर इट मस्ट बी 10 15 देन. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर 10 15 की वैल्यू आ गई. उसके बाद विल फोकस ये वाला हमने कंप्लीट कर लिया है और अब वी कैन फिल दिस वैल्यू एज वेल. यहाँ पर कितना आएगा टोटल? 10 and 15 and 15. So the total score against C is how much? 40. and the difference is -3. So here it must be 37. इसका मतलब D ने 37 स्कोर किया होगा. Out of which here C has scored 15. Here C has scored 10. So इस मैच में उन्होंने 12 स्कोर किया होगा to make the total 37. And if this value is 12, 15, so here it must be 15, 12. Now the total points scored against D was 41. 41 में से A has scored 15, C has scored 12, so total 27 gone, so remaining is 14. So this remaining 14 must be scored by B. ये B ने score किया होगा, so it must be 15, 14 और यहाँ पर हो जाएगा 14, 15. So in this way, we have completed this table. Now let us focus on the questions. हम question पे भी एक बार focus कर लेते हैं. Although it's not quite easy to find the answer of the question since we have all the values with us now. हम easily किसी भी question का answer आप कर सकते हैं. So let me remove this case. We will focus on this case only. Fine. Okay. So moving to next slide. First question was, how many points did A score in the match which he lost? So A कौन सा मैच हारे हैं? Against C, and the score of A in that particular match was 10. So the answer to the first question is 10. Fine. Now let us move to the second question. What are the total points scored by A, C, and D against B? So the total point scored against B. Against B. तो B के against total कितना score हुआ है? 40. So the answer to this question is 40. Fine. Moving to the third question. Total wins of A and D taken together. So A and D, the total number of wins of A and D. A का is 2-1, 2 wins है, and D का is also 2 wins. So the total number of wins of A and D together is 4. So to answer the question now is very easy. The important part was to fill this table. So I hope this set is clear to you. Thank you.